In the last few years, we've seen several large organisations fall victim to ransomware, devastating events that have had a major impact both financially and reputationally. Despite experienced IT teams with the best prevention solutions money can buy, the cyber criminals have still managed to break through the defences, leaving organisations powerless to stop the ongoing encryption. But RC is a revolutionary and unique cybersecurity solution, which acts as a last line of defence against ransomware, stepping in when traditional solutions fail.
RC monitors the network traffic between your users and your file shares, and it does it from a single installation on one dedicated virtual server with no overhead, which simplifies the deployment. It doesn't matter what type of malware it is or how it entered the organization. RC will always detect the encryption, and it will stop it immediately by isolating the encrypted device.
So how does it work in practice? I'm joined in the studio by Bullwall's lead technical engineer, Andy Walsh, who's going to give us a quick overview of 3 typical scenarios. Andy, over to you.
Thank you, Kate. So in this test environment, I have RC running on a virtual machine monitoring the network traffic. The dashboard is displayed behind me on this screen. The second PC could be any device on the network, and I'll be using this to introduce ransomware into the system. This is displayed on the screen behind Kate. This is running the attack simulator that we use for POCs and system resilience assessments. So I'll trigger the ransomware attack that will begin to encrypt the files. It won't change the file name, making it difficult to see which files have been encrypted. This will happen as soon as I click here. As you can see, it detected the outbreak within milliseconds, and it also tells us which user initiated the attack, patient 0. And more importantly, it isolated the device by shutting it down. But we can also isolate devices using existing EDR or NAC solutions. If we look at the affected file share, we can see that just a handful of files have been encrypted before the forced shutdown. If I try and open one of these files, I can no longer view the contents. Without RC, that same encryption would still be happening to the rest of the files on that share, and it may have jumped to other shares within the environment. Instead, RC shows me precisely which files need to be recovered from the backup. Meanwhile, the infected endpoint needs a new image, so Kate, can you pass me a new laptop?
It really is an instant response, but Andy, what about organisations that host their file in the cloud in Office 365 or Google?
Yeah, the use of cloud-based solutions does still pose a risk to companies' data, but we've got that covered too. Here, I'll show you how RC can detect illegitimate encryption in the cloud via one of our cloud integrations. Here's a home worker on Office 365, not connected to the corporate network via VPN. I'm just on a website and I accept the cookies, which triggers a drive-by attack which downloads ransomware to this local PC. The attack starts encrypted files which are now being synchronized to the cloud. But RC is checking the upload files for encryption. We can see from the dashboard that illegitimate encryption has been detected and triggered a maximum alert level. The Office 365 Enterprise Connector instantly detected the problem and disabled the user's cloud access and alerted the SOC team to respond.
So you're going to need another laptop. What about protecting from malicious hardware or other forms of entry?
Yep, we've got that covered too. Many organisations will prevent the use of USB storage devices, but not USB charging cables. So here I have a USB cable to charge my mobile phone from my laptop. Let's imagine I've purchased this cable from an untrusted source, or a cyber criminal has been given these out as freebies. Well, it's now possible to embed ransomware into a cable. So let's see what happens when I plug this in. As soon as the cable is plugged into the device, the encryption process starts. You can see the device is isolated very quickly, and looking at our dashboard, the alert level has reached 100% and the attack is stopped in the same way we've already seen.
I think we're all out of laptops now, Andy, but that's really impressive. Is there any form of ransomware that RC doesn't detect?
That's the point, Kate. It's not looking for ransomware, it's looking for the effect of ransomware, regardless of what's causing it. All 3 attacks I've shown demonstrate that no matter how ransomware gets into your organisation, RC responds quickly to isolate the outbreak and, most importantly, to prevent any costly downtime.
Andy, thanks very much. Traditional security systems remain as vital as ever, but our customers tell us they simply can't protect them all the time. We know organisations have been hit when legitimate credentials are stolen and used to disable security systems, when security solutions are not updated or vulnerabilities are not patched in time, due to the critical time gap between new ransomware emerging and security solutions being able to detect it, when criminals exploit zero-day vulnerabilities, and as Andy just demonstrated, with new pieces of malicious hardware.
The latest version of RC also includes unique IDS functionality to help our customers discover when unwanted intruders have breached their system, planning and preparing a forthcoming attack.
The 3 attacks that Andy just showed you, we are happy to test in your environment too. This is what we call a ransomware assessment test. Here we utilize our safe ransomware simulator to help you test if your existing solutions will stop a ransomware outbreak. At the same time, we also prove that RC will work in your specific environment, and finally that RC will perform a full isolation and force shutdown on the device from where we trigger the outbreak. And the good news, Bulwark offers all of this entirely remotely, both demo, the ransomware assessment test, and even the full installation and implementation can be performed wherever you are in the world.
It's almost impossible to be fully protected using conventional security, but RC has your back, stopping the outbreak when the traditional security systems have failed and providing a critical last line of defence. RC stops ransomware before it stops you. Learn more about RC at our website,